Welcome back to another episode of Just Jossin Around. My guest today is Quionez Berry. And it was giving like WWE announcer. Yeah, I love introing people like that, especially at mics and stuff, just like, Quionez, like just dragging it out as much as I can.
We go right here. You always said my name funny.
Oh no!
I'm getting it. I'm
tell
getting
me
it
right
today.
now.
It's Quionez.
Quionez? How do I say it?
You said Quionez.
Quionez.
It's Quionez.
And honestly, it's taking everything in me not to just call you Quiznos.
Yeah, I know. Oh man, it could be worse. Quiznos is definitely one.
Quionez.
I've gotten a lot. Yeah, Quionez.
Okay, Okay, I feel so bad because I've been saying your name wrong for a while, but I'm glad you waited until we're on a podcast
on air
to correct me. No, that's the right way to do it. I will say that I had a dream about this episode. Okay, I had a dream, but the dream was actually, this is so funny considering what has happened this morning. Okay. I had a dream that you were here at the studio, but for some reason I was running late, but I was running like so late. And you were here at like 10, right? Where we said, but I didn't show up to the studio till like 7. And you had been waiting here all day. It was, I had a dream about that. And then immediately after that dream had brutal sleep paralysis, but it's fine. It's so funny. I had this like dream, this anxiety about being late and then.
See, listen. So you said the meeting was there, and then you didn't get there till 7 p.m.
Yeah, in the dream, and in the dream, I remember like I was looking on my phone on social media, and you were like posting like, "Where's Joslyne?" like on your social media. But it's because I was doing like side quests in my dream. I was working a bunch of stuff. I don't know. Side quests.
That's funny. Listen, the amount of hangriness that would have came with that would be no. That's 3 meals.
This building is open till 7 p.m.
That's 3 whole meals right there.
Yeah, missed.
The sleep paralysis was missed.
That's all. Oh my gosh, I can't. My sleep paralysis. Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
I've had an experience for sure. Yeah.
What was it like?
Well, I had like a creepy one. Like, okay, so like I was watching I can remember I was like in my room and I was watching a movie at one point, and I think I woke up. I thought I heard something out of like the corner of my my whatever.
Yeah.
It was just like, get out.
Oh.
And like I felt like I was like wide awake, but I couldn't move. And it was like I was terrified.
Yeah.
And I was just like stuck. And once I got myself together, which may have felt like a few minutes, I like broke out in a full sprint out of there, wherever I was at.
Yeah. That's what my experiences have been like, or like it's like you're frozen and there's creepy stuff happening, and then but most of the time in my brain it's like I'm trying to scream but I can't, nothing's coming out because most of the time I'm like trying to scream for Jesus and I'm like I can't.
Yes.
Literally. It's so scary.
That happened once and I was just like, I was terrified because it's pitch black. You know how you like turn the lights off, you start seeing like random stuff here and there.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah. I'm a big time nightlight gal, so
I'm a big time like remove the robe off of the door at the when you turn that light off and you see the robe, all of a sudden it looked like somebody's
I shut the closet door.
Doors. I'm throwing something over the mirror.
Oh my gosh. The mirror is so real. Even like in the middle of if I just see it, it'll be myself and I'm still like, what is that?
Absolutely.
What is that?
I don't even play. I'm scary.
Yeah.
I'm like one of those people that like I'm a night owl, so I'll like watch like a lot of movies or whatever, and I like every so often I'll watch a scary movie, but then like if you watch a movie at night and you got to follow it with like a chaser of cartoons, like you just like, maybe I shouldn't be watching movies at night. I'll turn on some Jetsons or something in the quickness, man. Bugs Bunny?
Something light. Something Baby Looney Tunes.
Yeah, Baby Looney Tunes. I got to get out of the zone, man.
Literally. I I don't know. I can't watch scary movies at night. The last movie I saw at night, it was the second It movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then me and my sister had to go to our neighbor's house because we were dog sitting. But we didn't know that he was already home. Mm-hmm. And so he like popped in from outside. I've never screamed louder in my life. And I was like, all right, no more movies past 9 p.m. Unless it's like freaking Barbie movie. I don't know.
Oh my God, that would have been terrifying. The last one I did, it was Evil Dead. The new
oh my
Evil
gosh,
Dead.
why?
I was at home by myself. I was waiting to watch this with my girlfriend, but she never it's like almost a written rule that don't watch a new movie without her, basically. Yeah. So she was gone on her trip with her girlfriends, whatever, and I was at home by myself, and I was just like, it just kept popping up on HBO every time I like turned it on. And I was just like, oh, it's right there, and I'm like, I'll watch it, and immediately I like turned all the lights. I was just like, and the more I got into it, like within like the first couple minutes, like stuff happened. This is happening. And I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to turn on some cartoons.
I can deal with like fake monsters and stuff, but like when it's like demons, like stuff that like and paranormal and supernatural, that's when I'm like, all right, because I live alone too, so I'm like, there's no one saving me.
No,
if I'm getting filleted by a demon tonight, no one will know about it.
Absolutely. The lights aren't gonna help. I turn on lights. They're not helping. That's not helping.
Especially after, did you ever see Candyman?
I did see Candyman. Which one? The old one or new one?
I'm talking about the new one. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm
youngster.
Yeah, I'm a child.
I seen the new one.
The new one, sure. But like I like literally like driving away from the theater had to turn the rearview mirror. I couldn't even look at myself, and I was like, I was so scared. But yeah, lights on, mirrors, bad. I don't.
The thing about Candyman alone is like, I'm already scared of the bees. So
the
ghost guy is like bee oriented. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm already scared of like bugs. I don't even like bugs, man. It don't take much for me.
Bugs are actually horrific. Okay, that's another thing. Living alone, there's no one to kill bugs for me. I'm wasting like half a container of carpet cleaner just spraying a bug because I'm like, I refuse to like kill it with a shoe.
Man, jeez, yeah, bugs, dude. I do not do those well. You ever had you've been in the middle of like driving and you just like drove and then like something like or a spider like comes down, you're like.
Nothing will make me run my car off the road faster.
That's what you got. Like that's what you're testing, like your self control, like at its finest. If you're going 60 and a spider comes down, like right in front of you, like right in your, oh my God!
You find out who you are at your core. You find out.
That's like survival of the fittest type stuff. you don't know.
Testing your manhood. I have none. I would run the car off. It's fine. I do that with no spider in the car. I'm constantly on the rumble strips.
On the rumble strips?
Oh, yeah.
They got to know me well. That's for sure. For sure.
I feel bad. When someone passes me when I'm driving, I understand. I don't take it personal. I'm like, I get why you did that. I'm swerving. I'm not even drunk. I'm swerving.
I don't even know how sometimes I end up there. I'm like, I thought I was going straight.
Thought I was doing good.
And you did
yeah, it's scary sometimes. It's really aggressive. And I did it on the way here. And I do it. Okay. Semis, I'm going to say this right now. I don't think that semis should be allowed on the same road as me.
Semis scare me.
They need to have their own system. I think we should take a break from AI and just let why don't we build something for them? Because they should not. I have a Spark. I have a small Chevy Spark. So when one passes me, I'm moving over. I don't care how much space is between us. I just don't want to get clipped.
Oh yeah. I don't trust them.
I don't
trust semis, man.
And I think that the mental health screening that people have to take for guns and stuff. Let's semi truck drivers. Because some of them are insane.
You know what makes me even more mad is when you're driving and they decide to drive next to each other.
Yeah, do you guys know each other?
Holding hands.
Literally,
they're on the radio, yeah, man. It's been so long since the last time we did a drop off, And it's just like, like, come on. And they'll drive like this for miles.
Yeah. Okay, when I was in Alabama, we called that a redneck roadblock. Is that a thing? Have you?
I'd never heard of that before, but that's an interesting concept.
But it's like when cars, like you can't get around them either. Yeah.
They do this on purpose.
Yeah.
They got to.
I know. Like watching semis pass each other either, I'm like, you're fine. And then I guess, I don't know, in a real sense, like they do probably have somewhere to be.
Yeah.
Maybe like an orientation at 8:30 in the morning. Maybe. I'm just kidding. That was for me. Sorry. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be nicer to semi-truck drivers. Or maybe I won't. I'll keep my hatred.
I don't trust them.
No. Most car accidents I see coming down the interstate, semi-truck, it flipped. That's what I see. And so.
And it's either in just the I totally forgot what I was going to say.
Hey, that's okay. Oh my gosh. It literally happens. I'm not going to lie, like mid-sentence. I do it on this podcast and I do it on stage. Like mid-sentence, I'm like, what are you talking about right now? And then it's like everything loses it's fine.
You have that experience? I mean, that's a normal thing. Like, people talk to me about it all the time. They're like, I remember when I was first doing it and I was just like blank completely. Yeah. And then, or just was like, I remember in the beginning, just like, vibrating, like my blood was vibrating.
Oh, that's.
Remember The Flash? You ever watch The Flash? No.
No.
Oh my god! When he's able to like to the wall.
Yeah, that's how it felt.
It felt like I was moving my atoms.
I remember like it was like a showcase at Backline that I did, and I had just wrote it. And then I was like, I'm going to go up and do it. I felt super confident, forgot everything. And I remember like trying to get into my phone. Like I kept messing up my passcode to like look at my notes. It's just silent. Carmela's sitting in the front. I'm stressed. I'm like, it's just Carmela in the front. It was no one at that showcase and I was so stressed. But like, my brain just goes into like, fuck. If like I can't remember what the next word is.
It doesn't do that to me as much anymore unless like the stakes are real.
Oh,
like when the stakes are real and it's like I'm like, oh man, I'm like either trying to like trying to like show off or like oh there's somebody important here or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like oh man, it's like it's been a minute, Yeah. And I'm like out of the zone. And therefore, like, I just blank the heck out. And, like, it's like random, like, moments where I'm like, I should know. I've said this joke a million times. I should know.
You're like, I should know the beats by now. I, like, if it's a high-pressure show, like, if there's a lot of people, my brain will do this thing. It's so toxic, but it'll be like, I'll be doing my set, but then I'm just like, well, what if you forgot? Like, what if? And then I like psych myself out, and it's like, I don't know, it's the worst feeling ever. I'm like, why do I do that to myself? That's like actually, that's abusive. Like,
I did the same thing.
Yeah,
I did the same thing. Or like when it was just like, you're setting up, you have a plan of how you want to start or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you like switch up something last second and then you like forget what you originally were going to say. And then all of a sudden, like now you're discombobulated from the beginning and you're like,
Yeah. Honestly makes my stomach sick thinking about it. But like, I think that's affected me in how I write now. Cause I used to write like word for word and like memorize and like just spit it out how I wrote it. But now I'm like, all right, if I understand what I'm talking about and like what the main point is, then it doesn't matter like how it's done. And I feel like that helps me not forget as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had some quiet minutes before.
Man, when you're trying to get your stuff together and everybody's talking to you too.
Oh my
gosh,
like
sitting in your zone, you're like, man, okay, all right. And then somebody's like, yo,
literally,
what's happening, man?
That's why, like, if I'm at Backline, if I need to like get a set ready or something, I'm hiding. I'm in the bathroom upstairs with the door shut. I'm like away from everyone. Because, that'll happen.
The worst time to talk to me is like right before I'm getting ready to go up or if I'm eating a sandwich. I'm just, why are you talking?
Leave me alone.
Let's talk about
It depends on who's talking to me before my set.
Yeah.
If it's like a friend or something, I'm like, okay, I can handle. But if it's like someone, I don't know, outside of the realm that I really don't, and they're trying, I can't do it. I can't. I have to nod my head.
Yeah.
I'm panicking, actually.
Panicking. Please don't do this. No. I always said forgetting a joke on stage is like I said earlier, it's like when you're driving and you're like, a spider comes down and you're trying not to lose control of the situation.
Yeah.
And trying to maintain until you get yourself like, whatever, like focusing. You know, it's pretty much like that. Like you're going full speed and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, because it's like oh, you have this confidence, I feel like, on stage too. And so you don't want to like break that like trust of confidence with the audience. You don't want them to be like, do they know what they're doing?
Yeah.
Because that gives me anxiety. Like when I see a comic on stage who like maybe doesn't look like they know what the next word is going to be, I'm always like panicked for them.
You know what's wild is the fact that like when it happens, a lot of times it's so much in your head because what seems like an eternity up there is probably only like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're like trying to figure out where you're going to go.
Yep.
Or you're like, oh man, I forgot where's my punchline thing. There's one left. And you're like, blah. But then in your head, it's been like an eternity and everybody's just like, just looking at you.
And then like I'll ask someone after and they'll be like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, all right, cool. This is not real. None of this is real.
You know, like, oh, you did great. I thought you did great. What was the part that I forgot? Well, I couldn't tell. Well, in my head, it was like an hour of me and people staring at me. Like,
yeah, it felt like a really like... And that's why I'm attached to... I know it's a bad habit that I need to break, but like I will always bring a piece of paper with me on stage. Like, it's really bad, and especially for shows and stuff, like, I'm trying to not do it because I want to look more, like, professional, I guess. But it's, like, I feel like if I don't have a piece of paper with, like, a word on it or something, there's no safety net.
You just got to wean yourself off of it, man. It's a slow process. Just gotta, like,
yeah.
A lot of times, there's a lot of times that even I'll like have my phone, either I'm like recording or something, and then, like it'll be either on there, like set, whatever. But I didn't even look at it. I don't know if it just made me feel better just having it right there.
Yeah.
But it's like I just did. Oh, was it 45? Oh, I didn't even look at this once.
Just casually rips 45 minutes. Oh my gosh, I could never.
But if I didn't have it up there,
then
they'd be like, oh man, where am I going next? I don't know.
So I want to ask though, because you do a lot of headlining spots. So when you're doing a 45, is it like, are you doing like 45 minutes of jokes? Are you crowd working? Like how are you filling that time?
So for me, like as of recent, like this year, I'd say I was getting the most consistent practice on it. And I've always been a host MC person.
Yeah.
I hated it. Absolutely.
Oh, you don't like hosting?
Absolutely hated it
I love
in the
it.
beginning.
Yeah.
In the beginning. I hated it so much. Like everybody was like, oh, yeah, you want to go up first? I'm like, The room is cold, iceberg cold.
Oh, my gosh.
But then, I did it so many times. And then like, after you've done it so many times and you're used to, like, shooting off, like, your best, like, 5 or 10 off the top, like, pop, 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 from the hip, then it's like, when you get to those longer sets, now you can't do that as much.
Yeah.
So now you have to learn, like, time control.
Yeah.
And, like, all right, slow it down. Now you have all the time in the world that you didn't have at open mics and all these other shows.
Yeah.
To just be able to just chill. So you had to learn to do that. So, like, now, I do, like, 45 minutes of jokes, but also I've learned to, like, take my time and then just, like, not step on the laughter.
Yes.
Capitalize on what's working already. And, I can, like, divert. I can mess with people. When it's different. Like, when you got, like, however many in the chamber right after.
Yeah.
And you got some killer stuff left. Then you like, all right.
You just move different on stage.
You just move different.
Yeah.
Because like, now I can, like, play around and, like, this guy.
See, that's my favorite part. I was talking about this with Heather last week because that's my favorite about her style is, like, she's got her jokes, but, like, she's also present and she's, like, acknowledging who's in the room, what's going on in the room, and that's always my favorite.
That's the best part about it, is because like you don't have the time when you're like the MC. You got your however much time.
I've said this recently to someone, and I was like, I don't know what this says about me, but I'm like, hosting, that's like as far as I love hosting, because I love just like, I guess that energy of like that you can bring to hosting. And yeah, I think whereas like when I see someone headlining or like a high energy headliner too, I'm like, how are they doing that?
Oh man.
How?
Oh man. I am a high energy like, MC. Yeah. So I'm coming off the top. I'm coming. What?
Yeah.
But you know what? The worst thing is that when you're like that high energy MC and you're starting off the shit like, we all ready. Oh, yeah, give me some noise. Yeah. And then everybody's just like looking at you like.
You're like, I'm giving you. I mean, you're like, I prepared all day for this 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. How you feeling, sir? He would like, and then like that energy is like, and
especially when your expectation of like how you think the audience is gonna respond, and then they just beat you with nothing,
or they're like, yo, you were legit, bro. I loved your set, and you'd be like, where was this?
Yeah.
And then they're like, yo, let's get some pictures with this guy, man. Get this guy a drink, they're like super nice, and you're like. I saw you in the front row. And you looked miserable. Sat there like
you look like you didn't know this was happening.
Unimpressed. You left and answered a phone call.
You know what? I respect if they even left the room. So many times I've seen people take the call in the room, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna hang this up real quick. You do what you gotta do. That's funny. No, I love hosting. I've been hosting a lot of open mics recently, I feel like, which is...
Man.
You've seen it. I
demoralizing.
It really is. It really is. I know.
It hurts.
Yeah.
So
you saw me yell at an open micer recently.
Mm-hmm.
Which...
I've seen it coming, though.
Okay. I've seen it coming. I want to bring this up because it doesn't matter, but... I don't police people's material. Like if I'm hosting, odds are I'm not listening to people. And like because especially at that open mic, there was it was 3 hours of there were so many people, and so I'm not listening. But if you say something so insane that it catches my attention, like I'm gonna say something. But this guy was saying wild things on stage, and then came for the fist bump coming off. He wanted the fist bump, and I went past it.
Yeah. Give me that. I know you want to. You seen the work I did out there. I walked a few people. Give me that.
That's literally. It was So then I was like, I'm not fist bumping that. I know that's childish me and petty, but like I was like, I'm not fist bumping what you just did up there. And then I bring up like the next comic I come off, and then. He comes up to me, he goes, was that too far? And I was like, yes. Like, this person in particular, their material leans racist. It always has. I've literally watched this person, like, walk, like, crowds before because of their material. It's crazy. So, but then they opened the gate by saying, was that too far? So then I'm going to give you my opinion. But what really got me was that we were in the back room talking, and you were there, so I actually want to know. But he goes, you're yelling. Was I yelling? I'm loud. Like, I'm loud. But I was like,
no,
I'm not yelling.
I seen the whole thing. I seen the whole thing unravel after he literally was like, yo, what's your opinion on this? And you were like... you were like keeping it cool, like whatever, it's however you want to do it. I would suggest this, and he was just like, but this is what works for me all the time. It's just like, and you were like, well, whatever you would like to do, and I mean, whatever. This is what I suggest. He's like, hey, why are you getting loud with me, man? Chill, all right. Yo, I'm just asking you like what you think and whether you should keep this or not. And then I said, well, maybe you should just give her a shot of what she's saying. And she's giving you some good feedback. Maybe you should just give her a shot and see.
I don't even think I'm in a position to give people feedback, but that just felt like so blatantly obvious where I was like, and what got me was I was like, I just don't think that act is very bookable or appealing to bookers.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's respectable. It was like, if I was seeing that, I don't know if I would consider booking. And I was like, that's respectable right there. And he was just like, but see, this is how it works.
He goes,
baby.
I get booked.
I get booked, baby. I was just like,
I think you were out of the room.
No, I was there.
Well, no, like,
it's my
I'd come back. Yeah, there was a part 2.
Yeah.
Because I came back and it was 2 other comics who are working, are getting booked regularly. And so he was making the argument about getting booked, and I was like, you know what? You were so confident to do your set up there. Like, do it back here. Like, these 2 working comics, like, ask them what they, like, if that is bookable. Like, because in my opinion, I was like, it's not. But again, that's why I'm like, I don't talk to people about their material at all. I just No,
but the way you went about it was cool. I've seen people police. I've definitely seen people police.
And that's not my vibe.
Which is not, like everybody's humor is different, and I don't always get other people's humor, and people don't get mine, and everything else. So I respected the way you came about it, but then you just kind of pushed an envelope, and it was just like. It was like the weekend, like, I feel it coming. And then when you snapped, I was like, ooh. He asked for it, though. I was like, all right. He asked for that.
I was like, I know, because I told him, I was like, this is like my 4th time, like, ever talking to you, so this is not worth my energy. Like, I was like getting worked up, and I was like, why? This is not worth it.
It'd be like that, man.
It's not worth it. And yeah, it's whatever. And then he was, he was like, if you have sound advice for me, I'll hear it. But, like, if it's just going to be your opinion, I don't want to hear it. And I was like, well, unfortunately, I do think that my opinion is sound advice. I'm sorry. It's
kind of hard to differentiate the two when you're asking my opinion on, on that. And, like, okay, if you, how do you say it?
He was like, if you have sound advice, I'll hear it. But if you're just going to give me your opinion, I don't.
Well, my advice is going to come from my opinion. In a way.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know how you answer.
And it wasn't like, I don't know. There were so many points. I was like literally heated. I was so heated.
I'm always super like I like to avoid like giving opinions on
I know. I walked into it.
People be like, yo. I always had this happen too. Like I'll be like chilling out and like thinking of whatever I'm gonna do, and then somebody's like, yo, let me run this by you. I'm like, God.
Yeah.
That was what. Can you just do it on stage?
Yes,
that's the best way that you're gonna get whatever.
Yeah,
but to ask me and I gotta be like smiling the entire time, like and then you be like, oh, that was the punchline. I'm like, oh, that was that was it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I feel terrible, and then they'll be like, well, you didn't laugh, so I'm not gonna do it. And I'm like, I didn't laugh because like you're not doing stand up right now. You're like, this is like, get on stage. And it hits so much different. That's why, like...
It do hit different. Your energy is different.
It's, how you say it, where you're... Yeah, everything. It's just different.
It's different. It's like when somebody finds out that you do comedy at your job. And they're like, yo...
Oh, my God.
They're like, yo, this guy does comedy, y'all. And they're like, yo, do some jokes in the break room. Like, in the break room?
Not. No.
Do your act like how you would do it at the comedy club, but here in the break room... in front of all your managers and your coworkers.
I'm always like, no. That's when I will, like, even my family, like, when I come home to visit, they're like, do your skit. And I'm like, no.
Last time I told my family members one of my jokes, I think I almost...
What?
I don't even know what happened. It was just like, all right, I'm going to go in the other room and sit down. It was a joke. I did like, okay, so they found out I was doing comedy and they were like, yo, he does comedy. Everybody sit down. I want you to tell us some of your jokes. And around this is the time that I was like fairly new.
Yeah.
So I had a joke and it was like a racial joke or whatever, making fun of like the KKK or something like that.
Yeah.
And now keep in mind, I'm down in like country Oklahoma. And part of the joke... it was not a good joke to tell, but it was my best joke on stage.
Yeah.
And it was like, it gets ton of laughter. And I was like, all right, I'm going to tell you my best joke. And once I got done telling this joke, my entire family was like,
no way.
And I remember my mom being like, I'm gonna take my plate in the other room and eat it here. And I think I did the same joke at like a competition and for a black crowd, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna stop telling this. But it's like you gotta pick those rooms, you gotta know where to tell certain ones, whatnot, and then like it doesn't help when you're new and everybody like. Oh, that was something I was thinking about too. Like when you're new and like the mistakes you make in the beginning of like when you're like unpolished and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring all my friends out to come see this. Yeah. You have all your stuff together. You're still working on stage. You're like terrified, and all your friends and family are there in the beginning, and then they don't come back again for a very long time.
I was like, give me like 5 or 6 months. I'll clean it up.
I swear
I'll
to
fix
you,
it.
it's decent. I do well with strangers.
I stop. I don't invite unless like it's like a something where I know it's gonna be okay. I don't invite because it's if I feel confident enough for someone else to see like to invite them, I know I'm gonna eat it. Mm-hmm. I know karma's gonna come back and it's not gonna be a good set.
Man,
it's not gonna be a good set. But yeah, I feel like this kind of brings up like a good question, but like what things for you, and it's kind of a broad question honestly, but it like what things are like too far where you're like that is no longer comedy, like you're just like yeah, no, because I wrote that down because I was just thinking about like the experience with that specific comedian at the open mic where I was like I just figuring out where I draw the line with certain things, and like I don't know. I feel like it's hard to say like what's too far, but the audience will tell you what's too far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When you have some sort of like personal like stake that like it's just like defines what your beliefs are or whatever, and you take it and then you get really ranty.
Yeah.
There's like the
like
funny.
You're trying to make a point on stage.
Yeah. But like like there's been moments where I've had like or whatever, but it's like finding that balance of like funny versus like this is
you're just
getting very preachy, very uncomfortable in here. And you're like, but no, man, no. And you like try to double down on it.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, ooh, you hear crickets in the back, like.
Yeah, I feel like my biggest thing, and I think I even said this to that comic. I was like, what if you just like wrote from your experience? Like
that's a good point.
I feel like it's just that simple. Like instead of trying to write from the other people's experiences and make it, I don't know if it's like reaction that they're looking for or what, but I feel like the easiest way to navigate around that is just.
I think it depends on what stage of their like comedy career or hobby it is for them, because in the beginning you're kind of going for like the racial low-hanging fruit,
sure,
and that's just like the easiest thing, so you'll see like a lot of people go for that initially, and then as they progress then they kind of get a little bit more personal and whatever, but it really depends on like where you're at, whether it's like, whether it's like the racial stuff or just sex is like the entire topic for everything, so then it's like or D jokes, I don't know if we could say words.
No,
on
you
here.
can swear on this podcast.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Okay, well, dick jokes.
Yeah.
Dudes, the go-to beginner joke.
That is the go-to. And you know what? I'll listen every time. I'm like, all right, what's your hot take on what's
Yeah. So yeah, those are like you can kind of sometimes tell like where people are based on like the material that they're dropping. But yeah, as you gravitate, like as you like graduate to like next level, so you find that the best jokes, or even where I'm at right now, is just like writing about yourself and your experience, because there's no way I can tell you I've wrote some jokes and I thought was like hilarious. And these are like jokey jokes in the beginning. And then like I will randomly come across either somebody like had a very similar idea.
Yeah.
Either I'm on a show or I'm like watching like a set and like stand-up set on something, and I'm like, damn, that's like.
Yeah, that's honestly the most painful experience is when you like have this idea and then you're like, oh yes, and then like maybe you just see someone with like a similar premise.
And you're
like,
damn, man,
that sucks.
But that happens a lot. But when you writing about like your life, like how
no one can take that.
Yeah.
No one can take. And I love that's my favorite thing about like just comedy. I love when people go up with their just like authentic stories.
Yes.
And so
it's dope because and it's a lot more relatable because like we can tell jokes and stuff like that, but like people aren't going to relate. But if you're like doing like a life thing, like man, I'm like, oh man, that's
stories.
And they feel closer to you too.
Yeah, you know the person more. I feel like the audience, you're just more connected with them. They feel like they know you. Yeah. But
I was reading some books. I like reading some comic book stuff sometimes, like memoirs and stuff. And I think like Kevin Hart had like a whole thing about that, like in his book, which is a super good book, by the way. But he was
What's
talking
the name
about.
Of it?
Oh man, I have to look that up for you.
Yeah, I know you're good.
He was like on the cover with a bunch of puppies.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and basically what he said like in the beginning of his journey, and I've taken this with me like in any conversation that anybody's had, where he had like a whole like stage name and all this stuff. It was like Lil Kev the Bastard.
Yeah,
right? And that was his thing. And then like he like ended up like hooking up with some guys in New York, and they're like showing him around and teaching him like whatever and mentoring him. And then like the guy was just like, "Yo, yeah, you know you funny, you got some, you got good jokes or whatever, but like nobody like who are you?"
Yeah,
and he's just like, "What do you mean? This is my He's like, "No, I don't know anything about you. At the end of the day, when you get off the stage, I know nothing about you.
Yeah,
you're funny and you have a little stage name, but
but nothing past that.
Damn, that's a good point.
Got you thinking.
Now now I'm mostly focused on that. Like now I'm like, okay, this is who I am.
Yeah, like building a story. I feel like when you're
it's hard.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's hard because then you like kind of break in like the privacy of your own life a little bit when you're kind of writing and you're like, okay, how much do I share and how much is oversharing?
No,
everybody don't need to know this.
No, I recently felt that way. I did a show on Friday. Grace actually came and supported. And it was a show where it was like comics telling like true crime. And I like and it was a really good show, but like I went up there with like this like dark story. I went up there like, and I just was, which it went fine enough, but I was like, all right, maybe TMI a little bit. And then like the comic after me talked about like peeing in a toy store, and I'm like, all right, I definitely might have maybe went too far.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
that's the hard part, man. We writing from the place, you're like, man, I don't know.
I'm like, this might not actually be funny. This might just be. Maybe this is for therapy. Like maybe not for stage.
Just childhood trauma.
No, actually, and it's so funny because after my set, like Zach Peterson, he's like, yeah, it's got some jokes in there. He's like, it's just dark, and I was like, and for Zach to say that something is dark, I'm like, all right.
He nodded like.
I'm like, ooh.
Dark. It's dark.
I'm like, well, I'll never do that again. So. I did want to ask you though, like, where do you find? I mean, obviously your personal life, but like in your day to day, where is the funny? Where do you find inspiration? Is it your interactions, conversations with people? Are you a Larry David situation where it's just situational?
It definitely is a combination of a lot of things. I think I like everyday conversations. Sometimes I'm just like, when I get surrounded by people that I just feel comfortable with, that it's not like, oh, he's a comedian, like where they're expecting funny, and I can just be myself and be like, yo, this is what I was thinking about, or just saying random stuff, and it's just like, yo, that's I gotta write that down. That's funny.
Yeah,
like, that's
the best feeling.
Interactions with people, that's the best way that I get it. I mean, either that or just on the toilet. I'm just like,
you're just like,
funny.
Huh? Just shower thoughts, like,
I was like, yo, this is
yeah.
I know some great jokes. I'm just sitting there like, yo, that's okay. That's funny.
I always it's always if I'm driving, because I live in Lincoln, so it's always when I'm driving to Lincoln, I feel like I think of something and then I got to make a voice message, and then I never listen back to them. But I always think it's interesting how people come up with their jokes. Like we had Rachel on a couple weeks ago, and I swear, like she just spit an entire bit out on the podcast, and I was like, You better write that down. And then I got to watch her do it on stage last week.
Oh, that's I know what you're talking about. The vacuum
The
one?
Roomba joke.
The Roomba joke.
She just like, I honestly was like, how did you? It was literally magic. Because like when she did it on the podcast, it was like a full joke. And she was like, yeah, just when I'm talking sometimes.
Yeah.
That just comes out and I'm like, I can't stand it.
That doesn't work for that doesn't do that for you?
Like, I mean, she had all the beats for it. Like, I could think of a premise or maybe a funny idea, but I gotta go like focus on it and like expand. But yeah, I was very impressed. She just had it ripped.
Yeah. You know, another thing like for me too, it's like my creativity is weird. Now I don't know if it's like this for everybody, but like I have like a burst of it, and it's just like everything just makes sense. And it's like whether it's sketches, whether it's like comedy material, like boom.
You do sketches too.
Yeah, and then
sketches.
all of a sudden, gone.
Yeah,
and then I'm like in a whole just writer's block for a minute.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it's like somebody like turned the electricity back on. So somebody paid the bill.
Yeah,
and now I'm like, wait, we back with cable? We got cable. I don't know. That's how it goes for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
How long does it take you? Because I mean, I feel like I've seen a bunch of your sketches. Like, how long does it take you to put those together? Because I am in a sketch group right now, and I feel like we've been working like weeks on one idea, and I see you cranking these things out, and I'm like, is it just goes faster when you're a one-man team, or?
I think so sometimes.
Yeah.
So when I first started doing sketches like a while back, it was me by myself. And then I ended up meeting a few comedians actually that are on the scene now that when I first started comedy. And then like we started like just brainstorming and coming up with a bunch of things. And we were cranking them out as a group. And then whatever happened, everybody like kind of went on their way, and we started like getting more opportunities and things. We weren't necessarily together all the time anymore.
Yeah. And
then once you go from group, and then like you have to like sit there and think like, how do I do this by myself again? And so then I had to like learn how to crank out stuff and do it by myself again, whether it's like me playing multiple people or whatever. But it's just like, I don't know. It is challenging though.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like I would say, your sketches, Cameron's sketches. Whenever I see Cameron Logsdon sketches, I'm always like, wow,
Cameron, man,
he's ridiculous.
Working.
He's ridiculous. Talk about someone. I'm like, what? It just doesn't stop.
And he's putting out like great.
Oh yeah,
great stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I mean, he has a great audience, great following who are very, very receptive to what he's putting out. And whereas me, I'm putting out sketches and like 300 people have seen it. And I'm like, I'm going to take this down. I'm posting me back up. I'm going to post it back up. Because clearly the algorithm was wrong. Because this is awesome. But, whatever.
You were like, we'll try it again another day.
Yeah. So you've been working on some stuff. I've been trying to get other people to work with other people, but it gets hard because when the more people you do, then you got to work around everybody's schedules.
Yeah, which I feel like, so the sketch group I'm with now, like I think that we've got it down, we're meeting regularly, but it's like it's like, have you heard someone say like, something makes it out the group chat? That it's getting it to make it out the group chat. It's like we have ideas that are all so good, but then it's like, all right, we just got to start recording. Like, we can't care about like the perfection of it. I feel like there's a slight bit of perfectionism in all of us.
I think with sketches I learned, like the more work you put into it, the less receptive it like becomes. I swear, like
it's just got to be off the cuff,
like random stuff.
Yeah,
like you post, like you just make it and post it out there, and like with not as much like attention to detail or whatever it is, then people are like, oh, this is raw, this is funny.
Yeah.
But then like you like sweating, putting it in, like, oh, I gotta make sure this cut, there was something on the couch, I gotta take that off, I gotta to redo it. And then you put so much into it.
Because it's like it's your idea, it's your baby, you want to see it like be good, be great, but then it's you get caught up on the details of it.
Yeah. I would say definitely, I'd say just shoot it. Like
Just do it,
Don't
yeah.
worry. Yeah, don't
Which
worry
I
about
think
it.
that is like we're meeting next week. I think we're just recording.
Just record it.
Which is amazing for us. But so I'm
I
excited.
love it. I love doing sketches. I do them. I honestly do mine when the house, like, no one's home.
Smart.
When no one's home, there's no
Yeah.
distractions, there's no whatever, and I'm just like in the zone, and then I can like sit down for like a few hours and then just like edit and slide, things, audio underneath, and like I do all that.
Yeah.
And then I just post
Focus.
it.
That's
Yeah.
nice. I like sketch is so, because I've never taken like a sketch class or anything, or I don't know. It is a whole different form of like finding, like, I guess we would call them like the punchlines of sketch. It's just different.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, like something will always feel funnier in my head, and then I'll see it and I'm like, all right, well, that didn't come out how I initially thought, but trial and error.
Yeah, it is definitely trial and error, and I'd say that the more you put out, the better, like, and quicker and easier it gets for
flows.
you. Like you feel like the flow, you feel the flow of the editing, you feel the flow of whatever. And like for me, I have to do it whenever I have an idea. I have to do it around that time. Like I can't
Sit on it or
the more I think about it, the more convoluted it gets.
yeah.
So I am like, I got an idea. I need to do it right now.
Yeah.
Because if I'm waiting, like I used to hate, and you said I'm cranking them out. I crank them out a lot more now that I don't have a main job
Yeah.
and everything. Because if I had to go through an entire day of work and then come home and be like,
Not gonna
attempt to
happen.
do it, I'm like, yeah, dog, I don't
I'd be
wanna do this
tired.
anymore. I don't even want to do it anymore. I have to do it in the moment that I'm
Yeah.
like feeling it,
Yeah.
or nothing at all.
That's nice. So your main vibe is like you're doing stand up and you doing the road a lot?
So I've been doing it a lot more. I made the attempt. So I took the risk. I dropped my main job.
Good. No,
And I'm working.
I'm always for that. That's so awesome.
And now I'm working for. I have like 2 part-times, and I've been somehow surviving.
Making it work, yeah.
Yeah, and
It's a hustle.
It's a hustle.
Yeah. It's definitely, yeah.
I would say that it forces you to find ways to make money.
Oh,
or
yeah.
opportunity for yourself.
Yeah.
As opposed to when you just have a main job and then you're like, oh, okay, I got this money coming regardless of anything, whatever, and I have a backup plan.
Yep.
But now it's just like I have to find my opportunities or be more serious about, because I have to make my
X
car
amount.
payment.
Yeah, no.
I gotta make my
Yeah.
insurance payment,
The comedy hits different when there's
Yeah.
things on the line.
Yeah. So I'm like weaning myself, because I still have my part-times, but like
Yeah.
I'm weaning myself, but I'm not taking the full on.
Yeah.
I haven't taken it all the way on yet of no full-time comedy.
We'll see it soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see it
Yeah.
soon. That's the goal. That's like the dream is just
The dream.
just doing stand up.
Man, and it's beautiful when you like. I'm a very goal-oriented person.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you write your stuff out?
Do I write it out?
Like, do you write out like what you want to
Oh,
accomplish?
I got a whole vision board.
You
Yes.
do?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm
heck
very
yeah,
much
dude.
yeah. Goals are written out. Pictures are up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I was never. I've always been like a fly by the seat of my hand, like whatever type
Yeah.
guy, and like I'd say that since doing stand up, I've been more goal oriented, because you don't see like your accomplishments, or you don't feel them as much
Yep.
until you like have a visionary thing where you can cross them out. And be
Yeah.
like, yo, I did that. Like, because it's so convoluted, and where like so many things happen over the year, and you kind of forget.
It's satisfying. It really
Yeah.
is satisfying. It's like inspiring, and it's my vision board. Honestly, a lot on my vision board has happened. Maybe not to the degree that I thought, but like I see it. Although if I have guests coming over, I take the vision board down. I'm like, I'm too embarrassed. This is just for me. I can't have anyone else looking at this.
Do you find it hard, like as a comedian? Do you find it hard to like discuss like your passion with other people who are not involved in that?
I will do it regardless, because I just, it's like something that I feel like I could talk about for hours, and it's
Yeah.
something that like really, it's honestly one of the only things that I've ever gotten like so excited about, And so if I talk to other people, usually they just see the excitement that it brings me, and then they hear. And I'm like that with other people's passions. Like, if you are genuinely like for what you love, or like you're passionate, like I'll listen, because I don't care if it's like fucking, I don't know, darts, whatever. If that's your thing, like, and you're pumped about it, let me hear it. Let me hear about your dart league.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Dart
it's
league.
just whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I know, like, especially like my friends that aren't in comedy, a lot of our conversations, I'm just like filling them in on what's going on, because I like talking about it. But
that's dope. When you have like a circle around you,
That
you really
supports
have
you.
to have a protective circle.
oh, true, yeah.
And like, you gotta
No
have-
haters.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
haters.
yeah. And then, you know, there's people like, and you know, not everybody, you know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like not everybody is trying to hate. Some people are just have like a limit on what they think they can get out of life of some sort.
for sure.
And they were like, you know, well, this didn't work. You know, you just be realistic.
Yeah.
But it's just like when you're surrounded by people who are either trying to do something with themselves or whatever, and they're protective of their dreams and goals, and they know what they're working towards, and you're working towards it. And if you're surrounded by comedians too that are goal oriented and they know what they're trying to do with themselves, it creates like a protective like circle of people, like whatever. When you like, I find myself where I'll be in surroundings of like me talking about what I'm trying to do, and it's like so much like random unnecessary pressure that you have to like overcome and just be like, block this out, because it's like, all right, I'm done talking to you now.
Yeah, you're like, didn't get what I needed. So yeah, usually like if I ever have like ideas and stuff, there's like, I got like a call list of maybe like 3 people I'll share them with, because I learned the hard way, like not everyone's meant to hear about what's going on, because you know, I just feel like they can like speak some kind of negativity on it, and then it's like, oh well, there, you just killed the high of whatever I wanted to do or what was going on. But
you gotta stay focused. You gotta stay focused. And it's hard. I say comedy is really hard too, because, well, first of all, it is literally the hardest form of entertainment, first and foremost, to me. You know,
I can see that.
And not only that, but if there's not a lot of people around that's doing what you're doing, like, and you're just trying to like maintain and stay focused, and a lot of it is like alone. A lot of it is you're alone.
A lot.
There's nobody who.
And then at like 7:00 at night, you just immerse into a crowd of people.
Yeah. If you have 10 good friends, 10 good friends, and you're the only one in your group that's doing this, and you're like sharing like whatever with them, and everybody else is doing something completely like in family mode. They have like careers over here, and you're the only one's like, I'm doing this exciting thing, and you're just like, I'm alone in this. I'm alone. I'm alone, and you become good friends with people on the scene. Yep.
Yeah, I honestly like and that's where I'm like, I hope it's like this in every comedy scene, but I just I feel connected with a lot of the people, and everyone's so helpful and nice and cheering and rooting for each other. I'm like, I don't know if this exists anywhere else, but
I felt like when I first started out in comedy, I felt like I had a hard time, and I kind of dropped in and dropped out and dropped in and dropped out a lot in the beginning. But that was because I didn't have friends initially. Yep. So when I started actually meeting and talking to people, I found it a lot easier. Yeah. It was so much easier, but that's because the things that you take home when you're like, oh, that was an awful set. That was horrible. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this anymore. And then you're like alone. Yeah. And you go home and you dwell on it. Yep. But versus like when you have friends and you like watch everybody go over and just be like, yo, this is trash. And you're like, okay, me too. You,
not just me. Yep. It's a shared feeling. we can be miserable together about it.
We can be miserable together. Let's go some tacos and just talk about how awful this was.
Healing. Yeah. It really is healing.
Tacos and comedy.
I will say we are rounding down to the last couple minutes. This is usually the part. I don't think we have any questions this week, Grace, from the... Golly. All right. We got to start commissioning people to hit up our Instagram so we can start asking questions to our guests. But that's okay. We'll use these last couple minutes. If you have shows you want to plug, social media you want to plug, the stage is yours.
Ooh, okay. So I'll be in Hastings, Nebraska, September 9th. Let's go.
Let's go.
At the Brick House.
We love Brick House.
Gary Minky. And I believe Noah. Not Noah. Noah. I said Noah. Noah. Yeah.
It's okay. I feel honestly better that you're mispronouncing other people's names because
it comes full circle.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And I'm like, what was I doing? I don't know. I have to. Yeah. So I have some. I'm really excited. I'm back out in the comedy scene a lot more recently. I was like, yo, I got to get out there, man. You start getting rusty. I'm like, oh, man.
Gotta brush it off, keep going.
You ever get those tune up like things where you be like, yo, this is really important here, and then you have like a show before and you're like, oh, this didn't go well, but the next show you murder it?
Yes. You're like, that was just practice. I'm just trying things out here. Yeah, it's a good feeling though. Not the one you debate on, but the one you kill on.
Oh yeah. They come. You know, I'll be at Tomfoolery on Tremont in Davenport, Iowa. That is September 17th. That's gonna be a fun one. That's the one with the haunted place. Have you been that one?
Oh, Renwick Mansion?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do that one so bad. That's so dope.
We were talking about haunted stuff earlier.
We were. Best of luck.
Have you been there?
I haven't been there, but I want to go, but I know I'm gonna get the most vicious sleep paralysis if I go. I'm gonna see stuff. It's gonna be brutal.
Yeah. Is that's a regular thing? Like that regular for you?
Oh yeah. Like I have it. I mean, I used to like, not to be like whatever, but I used to like see stuff like literally like black shadows and like.
I'll be seeing stuff like that too, man.
Yeah. And I'm like,
corner, yeah.
I just keep that Bible on my bedside.
Yeah. Just turn on the lights, man.
Literally.
I see stuff too. You're not the only one.
Thank you.
I be fun. I don't know.
Grace is just giving me. All right, let's go. All right, anonymous question. We're gonna hit you with real quick.
Ooh.
Does anything give you guys as much anxiety as a female walking to her car alone at night? Okay.
Oh, for guy? Like,
yeah, I guess, yes. For me, I honestly wish someone would if I was walking to my car alone. And I keep my head on a swivel. Wow. I'm looking around.
Can you hold your own?
I can't, but I have the confidence like I could. But I can't.
Yeah. That's...
I know I'm weak. All right? My upper body is bad.
Do you have your taser ready?
No, I don't. Taser's
I feel like you with the taser would be funny.
Yeah, you know what? Next week's episode, I will be up here with my taser. I do need to get a taser. I used to have like, because I've been like robbed multiple times.
Really? What? In Omaha?
Yes. I was literally on the news. Yeah.
Where do you be hanging out at?
Dude, it was literally on like UNO campus. I have a baton in my car now. A baton. It's like a full like baton.
A little police baton. British but
literally. I don't know what it's gonna do, but
bonk.
Yeah. But what about you? You know, what's the anxiety?
Man, that's wild, man. You know, you robbed you on campus. Somebody went back to their dorm and was like, yo, I got her. Yo, I got her. Yo.
It's so funny. I'm glad I can laugh about it now because it wasn't funny.
There's a joke there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there is a joke there. There's a joke.
It's dark. I'm Zach Peterson at this point.
Dark.
I don't have, man, what scares me, man, I don't like being on a corner of like an intersection and like somebody's walking towards my car. Or if I'm sitting in the drive-thru and like got my windows down because it's hot.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then like somebody's like walking by and I'm like,
oh my gosh. Or when someone's like driving next to you. I don't know why. If someone like we're driving and they come, I'm like, I'm getting shot right now. Like they're coming, they're pulling up to kill me.
I don't like making eye contact too much. I like glance over, they look at me, I'm like,
nope. Like, sorry. Just look at that tree.
I don't know. I never really think of too many dangers, I guess. Maybe I don't know if that's the guy thing or like oh, I don't really feel.
Yeah.
Because I live down in like North Omaha and like there's been some shady areas. There's some shady gas stations, shady.
Yes.
And I'm just like, yo, I just be looking around, man. I'll be like pumping gas, but you know. I'm just like, he's on something. No, I'm looking.
I'm just
looking.
Head on a swivel.
Head on the swivel, straight up.
Well, you heard it here, folks. If you want to attack someone, I'm scared to say your name now. Quionez is not on guard, so he will.
Oh, I'm hella on guard.
No, he's very.
Don't believe that. I'm hella on guard. All right, I will mess you up.
I'm dead. But did you have social medias and stuff that you want to plug as well?
Y'all listen, check the shirt out. Quionez Comedy. See how it's spelled right there?
Yeah, I know.
See how that's spelled?
You know what? I don't think you're the first person to correct me either.
Quionez.
I'm gonna be in the car on the way home. Quionez.
Yeah. So you can find me Quionez Comedy. I'm on social media platforms, all of them. So TikTok, I'm on there. You know, I'm on Facebook, Instagram. You can find me on YouTube. I'll be out there.
There it is. Go follow him. Go watch his sketches and
listen. We're gonna have
comedy.
to collab on some sketches. Though.
Oh my gosh! Yes, I would. That would be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll be an extra. That's so fun. Thank you for coming on today. This was a really good time. And also, as always, thank you, Grace. This is not possible without you. I love you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.